C'è Jens.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, Jens. Do you speak Italian?
No, only a few terrible words.
Okay. So
as every cyclist in the world.
I suppose, yes, that's what it is.
Florian, do you speak English? Yes, I guess.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so. Okay, my English is terrible. I used to live in London ages ago. Now I lost everything.
Why is that? You don't train it enough?
No, in Italy we don't train enough.
Okay, how is this? Now I'm with this mic. Is the sound better now?
If you switch it on, I guess so.
Wait a
But
second.
I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. We are already live. We are improvising just like that. It's okay. Il bello della diretta, come si dice in italiano.
La push.
Alrighty, now it should be better now.
Yeah, it is.
Good.
Hello to everyone. So, Cami, let's start to talk about cycling.
Sì, si fa un po' italiano e un po' inglese, ma siamo qui per parlare. We are here to speak about the crowdfunding of Fantacycling, but to speak about the cycling connected with the fantasy game and how the fantasy game can help the fan engagement with the sport. In our case, of course, the cycling. We have Enrico from Fantacycling that is expert from fantasy sports game software development app, and Florian is ex-cycle pro, and now he have the channel on YouTube where speak about cycling in French. And Jens from Eurosport and ex-cycle pro, of course. And Fede, Fede, our CEO.
Jens used to ride with Ivan Basso, if someone doesn't know who Jens.
Yep,
Jens
many
Vogt or Voigt? That's the main question of the evening. Your surname, the pronunciation of your surname, please tell us.
So, like my parents would call me, it's Jens Vogt. Jens Vogt.
Vogt.
That's how my parents call me.
Okay.
Yes, Vogt.
Okay. For ages, we used to hear from Bulbarelli, which was the journalist from Rai, Jens Voigt. Voigt.
Yes, mostly that's how international people pronounce my name, but it's Vogt, Jens Vogt.
It's Vogt.
Same in France, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Voigt
They pronounce it the same way.
It was Voigt, and then they changed
Voigt
it
as
Vogt.
well. Yeah.
Voigt.
No,
Okay.
Voigt.
Okay. Anyway,
Actually,
Vogt.
we were neighbor with Jens for some years because
Really?
I'm from the southwest in France, and I know he spent a lot of time there. And I want just to replace something, because if you introduce me as a former pro, it should be a former legend, because I was nothing as a pro, just a young elite rider, but that's it.
Yeah, we lived 6 years. I was with a French team, and 4 years, I believe, we lived in 20 kilometers south of Toulouse, in the region of Muret.
Yeah, I'm from Foix, mostly.
Yeah, that's not too far. We passed it many times in training.
But I'm pretty sure that's not the point today, and people are not interested in it. But
no, it's okay. You can talk about it. Don't worry. It's fine. It's totally fine. Totally fine. One victory of Giro Italia, one stage victory, and twice to the France, right, Jens? Is correct?
Individual, yes, but I won a team time trial in the Giro, and I won a team time trial in the Tour de France as well. So I actually count them because I pedaled. It was a hard day, team time trial. So yeah, we won one in the Giro.
Cool. So it's a big one. Now he's a journalist from Eurosport, right? Is correct? Behind the motorcycle. You comment all the races with the moto, which is cool to hear from that, because in Italy we have the commentator in Italian, of course, but when you speak about the race, you are in a motorcycle. We hear from you from English version. So and there is Luca Gregorio, which is an Italian commentator that translates everything. for the people at home. Okay, so Camillo, let's talk about this evening.
Okay, I speak a bit in Italian for the user, like Germanino. Allora, volevo partire intanto con Enrico, perché Enrico comunque ha molta più esperienza di noi, sia a livello di, diciamo, a livello di tempo, perché comunque ha iniziato molto prima di noi, con i fantasy sport. Because Jens, Enrico have a software house that create all the fantasy sport app about basketball, volleyball, and everything.
Not all guys.
Volevo capire da te, Enrico, come hai visto negli anni la crescita dei fantasy sport, non solo in Italia, perché comunque voi avete molti utenti stranieri per le app che avete, e quanto ha aiutato l'engagement verso i fan, quindi l'unione, la cosa che avvicina i fan allo sport, avere dei fantasy sport, quindi simulare di essere un manager all'utente, essere più vicino a tutti i dati che ci sono attorno allo sport, perché gli sono utili per il suo gioco.
Chiaro, allora inizio in italiano, poi vedo anch'io se improvvisare in italiano e inglese. No, diciamo che noi abbiamo una visione fortunatamente abbastanza privilegiata, nel senso che noi lavoriamo in due modalità, cioè abbiamo sia i nostri giochi che diamo direttamente al pubblico, ma lavoriamo con tanti publisher e tante leghe. Quindi quello che noi offriamo, oltre quindi ai nostri giochi, inventarci quello un po' che ci pare e farlo noi direttamente al pubblico, abbiamo tanti clienti, quindi che possono essere o publisher, come per esempio adesso attivi abbiamo Gazzetta dello Sport, abbiamo Sky, e a loro forniamo la piattaforma di fantasy. Oppure, in modalità sempre B2B, lavoriamo con leghe, quindi Serie B di calcio, piuttosto che la Serie A greca di calcio, piuttosto che Eurolega, che è un progetto che ultimamente è andato fortissimo. Insomma, ne abbiamo diversi, Lega Basket, insomma, ce ne sono un po', anche troppi in termini di quanto ci mettiamo in termini di effort. E devo dire che quindi, avendo anche sul mercato B2B un po' di conoscenza, visto che ci bazzichiamo parecchio, vediamo che sì, la keyword engagement comunque tira, tanti vogliono piattaforme che generino engagement, e il fantasy ovviamente è una di queste. Ci sono poi dei case sicuramente di successo, Eurolega certamente uno di questi, perché loro sono riusciti con una piattaforma di fantasy che noi gli abbiamo messo a disposizione ormai 4 anni fa, questo è il 4º anno che abbiamo con loro, e via via, insomma, grazie anche a una loro ottima strategia di marketing, sono riusciti sempre di più a inserire anche la parte di fantasy all'interno delle loro properties, che effettivamente è un volano importante per dare engagement agli utenti. E loro sono riusciti, altri sono riusciti meno, questo insomma dipende, però sicuramente quello che vediamo, diciamo come punto di vista positivo, sicuramente è l'engagement che diamo agli utenti. Ci sono poi, lo avrete visto anche voi, tante challenge, la prima di tutte che poi mi viene da dire, se poi insomma vorremmo approfondire, è sicuramente la parte di retention, cioè quanto riesci a tenere stagione su stagione gli utenti, che quella poi è la difficoltà principale del settore fantasy, che conosciamo noi bene in prima persona, ma anche che vediamo con tanti nostri clienti essere una delle difficoltà più grandi.
Ok, about one question, Fede, the question about the scaling in Europe. Enrico, which are the main countries where you have user for the other apps, for the other sports? Of course, it depends about the sport, I know, but which are the main countries that are more interested in the fantasy sport?
Well, depends not only on the apps, but so not only on the sports, but also on the exact products. Because, for example, for the EuroLeague, we are super strong in Serbia and Greece, because
it's a basket, right?
Yes, basketball. EuroLeague basketball is like the Champions League of football, but for basketball. And there, these two countries they make around 60% of the total users, which is amazing considering how small they are. So EuroLeague is one example. For our products, so the ones we have, Dunkest, so fantasy football, fantasy basketball, and Kickers fantasy football, we are stronger in Europe. We have many users in Spain, Germany, France, not many, and then also other countries outside of Europe. We are quite strong in Brazil, for example.
Oh, okay.
Brazil, cool.
Of course, the country, if it's connected to the sport, is better. Like Slovenia now for the cycling, I think. For you, it's Serbia for the EuroLeague, so I think it's normal. And a question for Florian and Jens about your countries. What do you think we can do to close the fantasy sport, the Fantacycling, in our case, of course, with the user? How the user can react about the fantasy sport? Already,
first of all, which is the passion in France and in Germany about cycling, and then how can we change?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start, Jens?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. I thought it was a favor I was giving you. So for me, it's a bit peculiar because I live currently in Italy, but I'm French. So I have the two examples, and for me, Italian people are a lot users of fantasy, especially in football, but also now a bit in cycling.
We are sick
and
that,
yeah, really. So the culture is really strong. A lot less in France, but for me there is no reason for that. The only one is just because fantasy didn't arrive yet as it is present in Italy for years. It's been present now for years, because the passion about the sport is quite similar, depending on the sport, obviously, but we have quite similar culture in the end. So for me, there is no reason, except that we probably didn't have a so early company as yours that developed fantasy in several sports so early. So for me, there is no reason. Yeah, it will be a success.
We hope so.
Germany is a particular market. For example, if we talk about bike brands, the strongest bike brand in Germany has maybe 12% market share. Then it goes to 11 and 8 and 7. So it's not that one company has 50%. Pay TV never really takes off in Germany. We had a company called Premiere, and they were around 2 million signups forever, like for 20 years. So Germans are a specific market, many markets, many companies, many different industries come to the same conclusion. Germans are really tight with their money. They don't like to spend money. So I believe that is it's a problem with Germans. And you got to capture them with something unique, with fun or some unique product or design or feature. So you go, wow, that is so cool. I want this. I want to have this. Once it starts, then there's no reason to let it grow really, really large. But to get your foot on the ground, I believe Germany, I'm afraid I have to say, will be challenging. But once you get it going, then yes, of course.
Yeah.
There's economy, there's money, there is a bit of wealth there with the people. So yes, it will work, but I believe it will be a little bit an uphill start, a little bit.
Uphill. Okay.
That's probably one of the key of success of fantasy sport in general. It's mainly free. If you want to play it for free, you can do it.
Yeah.
So for example, if you bet, mostly you lose money. But if you play fantasy with friends, usually you don't even use money. Then you can between friends do it, but whatever. It's not the point. So you can start it for free. So I guess it's a bit the same with French, probably less than German, but yes, everywhere if you have to pay for something, it's longer to grow. But I think that's a good point with fantasy as well.
Actually, just a little story to make you smile. Many years ago, I was still an active rider. I won a stage in a Basque country. Okay, like a double split day. I won the morning one, and as I'm then after the race, I'm on the way to the airport to go home. Andy Schleck Andy Schleck sends me a message. Hey, thanks. Because of you, I made I think about 150 euros. Said, how that? I was betting on you. I played the game. I was betting on you for today, and you won the stage. So you made me win some money. So there you go.
This is a
So
bet.
you not always lose. You got to know how to play the game, and then you actually might win money.
Yeah, I mean, Andy at the time he was he had some tips, you know, because
he was an insider.
He was insider, yeah, of course.
There was another time, because now we could have some problem with that kind
of course.
Yeah, that's why I only tell it 10 years after. Now I can tell the story without we both getting, back into prison.
Sure thing.
Jens, let me ask you something. If you think about cycling in Germany, because we don't know that market. We know France, Spain, maybe UK, Belgium as well. Yeah, but we don't know probably nothing about Germany, cycling in Germany. As you said, the TV show and something like that. If you think about other sports, from 1 out of 10, where is position in cycling? I think the main sport is football, probably is 10. Cycling, where is it? By far, of course, yeah.
I would think if you take like Olympics out, I believe second probably is basketball, also soccer, basketball, handball, winter sports, because we Germans, we are okay in ski jump and biathlon, the skiing and shooting.
Yeah.
I would say winter sports is probably on 3. And then I think it might be cycling on 5. Yeah, winter sport 4, cycling 5, I believe. Maybe together with, track and field, if they have some highlights, sometimes volleyball, Champions League. But I would say cycling could be, position 5. After
5, position 5. Yeah, okay. So I'll change the question. At the time when Jan Ullrich was riding, quite well at the Tour de France, where cycling was? Same position, or it was
No, for sure second. Okay, for sure, cool. Cycling was the second. I mean, he was just a national hero. He was young, successful, had a nice smile, had a friendly smile. He was just everybody's darling.
At the time, he was smiling at the time.
Young and good-looking man. He was friendly, charming, super successful, easy, down to earth. So he was just everybody's favorite, everybody's darling. For sure, we were the second biggest sport in Germany then.
Okay, so basically, you had the same problem that we have in Italy right now. We need a big guy that win not everything, but some special races. At the time it was Ullrich, Pantani for Italian as well. So we have the same problem. Actually, the culture of cycling in Italy is probably bigger than Germany, I guess.
Tennis,
I suppose.
Absolutely.
Is what happened with Sinner now for the tennis in Italy. A lot of people want to play tennis only for Sinner. This is the difference, of course.
Yeah. One national hero can lift up every sport. We had Boris Becker and Steffi Graf in tennis. Tennis was every day almost on TV. And then they retired and tennis went slowly downhill. It's not disappearing, but downhill. The same with Jan. Well, not only that Jan is retired, but all the things they come after, so they actually hurt everybody. People still ask me questions today. Hey, so how was it back then when you rode with Lance Armstrong and Jan Ullrich? Even now, I'm 10 years retired. People still, sometimes journalists ask, hey, how was it back then?
It's better now because now you can tell.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And also, now in modern cycling, I do not see how any normal human being in the next 5 or 6 years from our countries, from France, from Germany, from Italy, will beat Pogacar and Vingegaard and Ayuso or Remco Evenepoel. There's no chance. It's like for the next 5 or 6 years, the podium of the Tour de France is cemented with Pogacar, Vingegaard, Evenepoel or Ayuso, and then maybe 1 or 2 young surprises, but there's no way in hell that we will have a German, a French, or an Italian superstar coming up like that. It's great to watch cycling these days. It's fascinating. It's spectacular sport. But if you're a normal good bike rider, it's gotta be frustrating to be in there. And you get your head kicked in. It is. Every at the start line, you go boo, boo, boo. It's gotta be terrible to be a bike rider these days, no?
So one is telling us O'Connor for the podium of Giro or Tour de France or Giro. Keep calm with O'Connor. Is the truth. Is the truth. But
Enrico, about the number that you have of all the app, can you see every year they change that the engagement of the app have is different because it depends what happened in that sport or in the other every year or every 2 or 3 years, I don't know.
Yes, for sure. Then at the moment, since we are basketball is one of our main sports together with football. These two sports, they don't have that much, of change because people are always passionate about those. So just to connect to 2 points, because before Florian was mentioning fantasy in France, I was checking some numbers because there's a big, they are a startup, but they are growing fast. They are called Mon Petit Gazon. Forgive my accent, and they are doing very fine. They have around 5 million users, which is a very good number. So they are growing very well. And in Germany, the main fantasy game is the official Bundesliga fantasy, and they have around 1 million users, which is actually not that much compared to how many people are interested in
Italy. I guess the official one is 4 million or something like that. So
I think a bit more. I think they have around 5 or 6. Then they don't release always official numbers, but the ballpark should be around 5 or 6.
We know that the specific project and the other one as well. There is a let's say 2 or 3 main projects of football in Italy. A fantasy game app. Maybe the total one is 5-6 million, but then they divided the users by the main one. We know there is more than 4 million or something.
Yes.
We don't say the name, okay, but
sure.
what I'm talking about.
Then it depends mostly on the leagues or on the publisher, the communication they do. Then we'll see, because we have other projects that are starting soon, where probably there will be more, interest that come and goes, but we will see about that.
I got a technical or a legal question, if you want to say. Fantacycling or fantasy cycling, it's gonna go along with the entire season, correct?
From Down Under to Guangxi Tour, basically.
Yeah, so there you go. And I know that especially the Tour de France, the ESO, they are super complicated and hard with their images or their naming rights. How do you get along with that? You pay him like $1 million so you can say, hey, I got a Tour de France team? Or you don't ask him and hope everything goes well? Or you use a different name? How you do that? How do you say, hey, riders, collect your team, or please, dear members, collect your team for the Tour de France? Are you allowed to say Tour de France, or you have to ask?
That's a tricky, brutal question,
That's why I ask.
We can't use the logo. We can't use the logo, of course. We can't use the logo, but we can use the name. Okay. We can use the name. Of course, now we are not so big, so I don't know. In the future, we will see what happens about the name of the Tour de France, but also about the name of the riders, the cyclists. So it depends about the right image.
Camille, let's say like that. We already are speaking with RCS, which is the main organizer from Giro d'Italia, and ASO as well, ASO as well, which is Tour de France organization behind. So we already talked about that with that big company. So we don't have a deal. We used to have a deal with Giro d'Italia. before last, I think until 2023 or something like that, is a tricky question. So we cannot use the big logo, you know, our official game of Tour de France. No, we are not official, of course, but we are the only app that play the game in all season, all the World Tour races and Pro Series as well.
And the Pro Series too.
The problem of the Tour de France website, they have their own fantasy game, as well as Giro d'Italia this year. They have their own fantasy game, but the problem of rights, because they can't let the user play, for example, Tour Down Under inside the Tour de France platform, because they are not matching. So inside the Tour de France, you can play just the Tour de France fantasy game, and that's it. You play 21 days, it's over. It's like, you know, for the users, I guess, it's like you play fantasy football, but just not all the 40 games, 40 matches, but just, you know, a few of them. It feels like not complete. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
But it's a tricky question, so it's a long answer, you know, but we can't, but we can, you know. We are
Are you making a fantasy only about the tour, or only about the full World Tour season?
Everything from Down Under to Guangxi Tour, which is the first and the last World Tour races. But then we actually had 2 years ago we had the Pro Series as well, because as Jens knows that there is, you know, big Pro Series. Pro Series is the, you know, the Class B races, let's say. Which is, for example, Giro dell'Emilia is a Pro Series race, but you know, it's a big one. You know, Roglic, Evenepoel, and Pogacar. So it was like you know, World Tour start list for World Championship start list. So we had that. So basically, we had all the races in the calendar.
Yeah, of course. And Fede, about the engagement that the fantasy game engagement that helped the sport. We saw 2 years ago when we started with the women fantasy game, with the women Fantacycling. And from Eurosport, they say us that a lot of people start to saw only the women races only to play the Fantacycling. So this is why we want to improve our app. We want to improve all this situation, because we know that when you are playing Fantacycling with your friends, you are challenging your friends. You want to know also the Tour of Guangxi, and I think it's not.
Come on, let's be honest, Jens and Florian. Let's be honest. Think about the normal German guy behind the TV watching. Okay, Tour de France, Giro d'Italia, maybe the big classic event like Liège or Paris-Roubaix, whatever. Think about that guy watching Tour Down Under. Is it possible? I don't think so. But if you play that game and you get sick of it, and I can give you, you know, my example. When I, you know, I start to think about Fantacycling, and we play at the beginning. I used to watch Down Under at 3 o'clock in the morning, because, you know, in Italy and Australia is a different time. The first one was Richie Port versus Daryl Impey, and then at the end won Daryl Impey. That Down Under. So I was watching Tour Down Under. That's quite, you know, impressive.
That's a super tool to make engagement. That's for sure, because
that's the goal.
Your main customer in that is UCI, because World Tour is one of them products, and actually is in their interests that people follow the world season. Actually, in the middle, you have several different organizers. You have RCS, you have ISO, you have Flanders Classics. And everyone is just playing his own game and interested in there. But yeah, for sure, if you are UCI, you want all the races of the season to be watched. So that's a super tool to make engagement for the let's say smallest races in the World Tour.
We are trying to speak with them, of course.
It's exactly the same behavior that happens in fantasy football, because the not very important games people watch them just because they have someone who's playing in their fantasy teams and they just want to see how he performs. So
also because if you want to win a fantasy, actually you don't win it on the Tour de France or on Lombardia. Everyone knows who is going to win, pretty much. So it's on the lucky losers that you make points, for example, or small races. So.
Also it creates more interest for the sport because you want to beat your friends, you play with your friends or whatever, your parents, your brother, or your sister, and you want to beat them, so you have more interest. One thing here in Germany is also different. Eurosport is a free channel in Germany.
Yeah.
Eurosport
is a free channel.
Yes,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
And so
only Eurosport 1, right?
Yes, yeah, Eurosport 1, Eurosport 2, and Discovery Plus, and all that. It's a pay TV, but Eurosport 1 shows a lot of cycling.
Yeah,
from cyclocross, mountain biking, and down under as well. Not at 3 a.m. live, but you will have it to a normal time.
Yeah, lights. Okay.
And they call themselves Home of Cycling. So Eurosport is by far the strongest channel in Germany for cycling. So they would be a good partner.
Everywhere in Europe.
Basically everywhere in Europe. Yeah, I think it's only 2 countries, maybe Holland, and maybe it's for free as well. Most other countries, Eurosport is a pay TV already.
Yeah, we don't. We pay everything, so we are not. Yeah, but which team of football you support, Jens? If you like football, of course, soccer.
Well, let's go easy. Let's start with the easy one. Internationally, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because I'm from East Germany, okay, but I live close enough to the border that, I mean, back then, I'm old. We had antennas. You folks, you know what an antenna is, or you only know cable TV? So we had antennas.
Basically, you catch the TV,
the Western TV, yes. And so you could see. And in the early 80s, Liverpool was one of the strongest clubs in Europe. They won a lot of like international cups and national championships. So I always liked them. Then later they had this German coach, Jürgen Klopp. So how can you not love Jürgen Klopp? Kloppo, he's the best. So he made them big again. He made them win the championship. So internationally, it's FC Liverpool. Like it or hate me, but that's what it is for me.
I don't care. It's your your choice. It's not mine.
back home, it's difficult. I'm from the north of former East Germany. The team there is Hansa Rostock. They're down to 3rd league, and they make it hard to like him. They play shit soccer, and they have terrible, violent fans.
It's not in the 1st division, right? No, it's not.
3rd division now.
3rd. Wow.
3rd division. Wow. And there's always riots, extra police forces needed when they play, and they play terrible. They go up to 2nd, straight down to 3rd league. It's not easy to like him. The only point of light, because I still like him, is listen to this. They were the last East German soccer champion, right?
Yeah.
And Bavaria Munich was the last Western German soccer champion. Then the countries got united and the league got united. So instead of 18 teams, they made it up to, I think, 22 or 24 teams for a few years to have a bigger league to give fair chances to East and West. The first match ever was the old East German champion against the old West German champion. And my team, Hansa Rostock, beat Bavaria Munich and took the lead of the, United German Soccer League for about 2 or 3
ages ago.
Yes, about 200 years ago, more or less. But that's still, that's my claim to fame. Like, yes, we were the first leader of the German league.
No, I asked that question about football because this is the the Bundesliga, okay, Bundesliga. Yeah. So basically, we try. That's a stupid question. I try to compare Tour de France and for example, Down Under or Cadel Evans Great Oceans Road. No, maybe the not most important races in the World Tour. Cycling World Tour. Basically, Tour de France is like a match between Bayern Munich and Lipsia, for example. And Down Under is like Hoffenheim versus Bochum or something like that. So think about fantasy sport is like watching with the same passion Hoffenheim versus Bochum as the same passion as the Bayern Munich against Leipzig. So basically, if you have the player in your team that played that game, you watch that game with the same passion, same fire on the eye, you know, because you want to see that player scores or do assist or whatever, or play well. Anyway,
tell me if I'm wrong, but if it's even more, because if you play Fantacalcio, you can have teams without any player in your team, so you're not interested in watching the game.
Of course,
but if you play Fantacycling, you have point in every single race, so you have to watch every single race, right?
Yeah, more or less is like that. Yeah, more or less is like that, because
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think that you have people so passionate now about playing Fantacalcio that they could be interested in playing Fantacycling, even if they don't know a thing about cycling or they never watched a race? That's another point I was interested in, because I have a lot of players around me. They love it. They are just stuck to their phone every weekend, just watching every single result and vote and whatever. And I was thinking maybe, you know, they just get sick about playing only on the same league or game. So obviously they can do it on the Bundesliga, or it's still the same sport. But could they be interested on another sport?
Well, it's not going that well, as we know from the big up that I mentioned before, because they play the main Italian league. And then they have another app with the European League, but it's not going well at all. So the player in Italian, they like Serie A. That's it. That's what we understood about that data we had a few years ago. Maybe
but
now
for
it's
example,
changed,
with the experience you had with the Giro d'Italia, you didn't notice like people currently playing only in football and then saying between them, you know, oh, why don't we do just for the Giro something together?
Of course, it's a little part of user, but you reverse the activation mode. So normally, I have a passion for cycling. I start to play Fantacycling, but there is some user that love fantasy football, start to play fantasy cycling only because they are sick for fantasy game, and after that, seeing a lot of races, start the passion also for the cycling, because I think it's a way to transport some users to start to see the race of the cycle, because they don't want to start to see the race because it's too long, because the past was in trouble for the cycling and everything. But if you start with the fantasy sport because your friends wanna play with you, you have the challenge with your friends. Okay, I start to see some races, and after that, oh, this race is very cool because Pogacar is going. Oh, because there is the fight between Van der Poel and Van Aert, and after that, start the passion about the cycling. So I think this, of course, is a little part, but it's the new way to have more fun about cycling.
Also, because I thought if you have several different apps, it's also a way to use those million users in football to give them something different to play with.
Yeah,
to give visibility to other sport, league, or whatever.
Yeah, we reached the peak between Giro d'Italia and Tour de France. So we have 136,000 users, whatever. A lot. Think about cycling is a lot. And the 80%, no, maybe less, is 60% of the users I'm playing every races. The other 40% is adding on between Giro d'Italia and Tour de France. So this is the maximum peak of the app. So there is a group of friends that play just Giro or just Tour, or maybe both, or maybe Giro, Tour, and Vuelta. That's the main period of Fantacycling and cycling as well. As I said before, Tour Down Under is not that famous. We start the season with Tour Down Under, but it's not that famous. And we close with Guangxi Tour, is not that famous as well. Maybe it's the
our work
way.
is to improve the app to become more engagement, to make that the people want to see also the
maybe in the future we do. We did. Okay, maybe they don't know. We did a collaboration with Y Tour last year. So basically, we were let's say main app, or I don't know, the official app of Y Tour. Y Tour is not that bad, it's a good race. Maybe it's better than to Davanti, I don't know, but it's a good race. So we had the collaboration with the Y Tour. Maybe in the future, as I said before, we could collaborate with Azov, with Tour de France. I don't know. We fingers crossed, and let's see. Because we had a question, Kami, about can you scale in Europe? Which is your plan? Yeah.
We want to reach 2 million of users in the next 5 years. Of course, we are lucky in
Europe.
Yeah, of course, in the world.
Yeah. In the world.
Because mainly in Europe.
But
Colombia, maybe.
Exactly. There is the other market that is Colombia, Ecuador. There is a very good market because they are a lot.
Yeah, they are a lot.
I believe you also should look at the English-speaking markets. Great Britain, South Africa, Australia, Japan. Cycling is also fairly popular in Japan. They would be interesting markets as well. But just for my better understanding, a typical user, how does it go? He wakes up and then has his first espresso or cappuccino in the morning and checks his team for 5 minutes, and then he checks the team again at 6 p.m. before he goes to bed at 10? Or is it one time, 20 minutes per day, or one time per week? The normal user.
I'll explain.
Yes, please.
I explain everything. I explain everything. Basically, there is 2 ways to play. Or you play with your friends and you do your private league. You build your team with auction or from the normal list. Anyway, you build your team. Doesn't matter how. And you play just against your friends. Then there is another way to play. The main championship. You build your team. You have some exchanges through the races. You change your team day by day or weeks by weeks, before the Tour, before the Giro. You have some small changes that you can do. And you compete against all users from the world. We have 70,000 users in the main championship. Well, so a big number. So you play against all the users. So there is basically to play. The private league is a kind of Italian way to play because we play fantasy football in that way. So we have friends that like football, and we build our league with fantasy football. That's how it works in Italy. Cycling is different. So basically, we just kept the same structure from fantasy football, but we are the main championship against all the users from the world. So that's the main challenge of the app. How you play? Basically, you build your team, 30 riders, 30 riders. You can change riders through the races, and you just line up 9 riders in every single races, World Tour races. That's it. And you score points if you have, Pogacar. It's a tricky regulation for that. It's not easy. You get first, you get 10 points. Second, 6 points. Is more complicated. You get points from breakaways, from intermediate sprint, from King of the Mountain, stage classifications of the stage of the final GC. There is lots of points. Basically, Pogacar this year is getting close. 10,000 points if he get in the first 5 or 6 position in the Lombardia. He's gonna get more than 10,000 points, which was unbelievable because it's unbelievable anyway. So speechless about that. So that's it. I mean, you line up your team. For example, in a big tour race like Giro d'Italia, Tour de France, every day you just pick up the captain of the day. That's it. So it's 30 seconds. The team is
there a chance I could pick a team only 3, because I think you have a maximum budget for all the riders, right?
Of course.
So let's say I spend all my money on Pogacar, Vingegaard, and Wout van Aert, and only send 3 riders to a team. I could still win, or do I have to send 9? Because if I only send 3, it's like imagine in the soccer game, they go, I pick Messi, I pick Ronaldo and Manuel Neuer for the goal, and nobody else. Just these
No,
three.
you can't do it. You can't do it. You have to do it 9.
You can spend a lot for Pogacar, Vingegaard.
I know, that's why you don't need anybody else. You don't need anybody else. Pogacar don't need anybody to win Lombardia.
You need to put Nils Pollitt probably if you get no, someone who doesn't cost that much. No,
that would be interesting race.
You have to balance.
Balance everything.
Jens, you should suggest that next year Pogacar is not allowed to have any teammates. Just try to see if he can win alone every single race.
Believe me, he would still win a few races for sure.
Because probably Lombardia is one of it.
When we make the league for the single race, we made a budget that is impossible to take more than 1 or 2 big like Pogacar or
Because if you do the main championship, if you are lucky, because after every races we get up and down about the cost of the rider. So basically, it's a top and flop. Pogacar won. He was I don't know 50 Fanta millions. He gets to 55. Roglic made a really bad race from 40 is going to cost 35. So if you are lucky to pick every single rider that's doing well in races, you kind of manage your budget very well, probably you're gonna get to the Tour de France with Vingegaard, Pogacar and other big favorite in your lineup team. So this is the main championship. Instead, if you play with your private league with your friends, at the beginning you choose your team. Of course, you can get Pogacar and Vingegaard. One is going to get Pogacar, the other one is going to get Vingegaard. So it's more fair. I mean, more fair, yes, but like Pogacar this year, it's not fair at all, because if you get Pogacar,
I know,
probably you're going to win everything. Unless you can call Berta. Berta is a friend of us that's doing a live show with us. He lost our league. He had Pogacar all the season, but he lost. He will arrive second because the other one he got O'Connor, who won the league. He got O'Connor, Evenepoel, and Derek G. Some riders that I wouldn't bet in their rider at the beginning of the season. O'Connor and Derek G. No way. Instead, they made a really good season. O'Connor first of all. So it's possible to lose with Pogacar as well. Yes, it's
possible to lose with Wout van Aert this year. He had 2 terrible crashes, so
he's the last one.
He's a fantastic
the team he had Pogacar is last one. In Italy, we say you need culo, lucky. Culo is the ass,
I know. Cojones.
You need to be lucky. You need to have, build luck with the fantasy sport. That's the first things to think about it. Be lucky, and then
can you explain, if you play between friends and you have your own private league, can 2 people take the same player, for example? No,
it depends.
You can. It just depends where there is 2 ways to make a league. The auction is asta, basically Pogacar, 100, 102, 105, 200 gone.
So in that case, only one.
Team. Yeah. So we do in that way. This is the fantasy football way to play, and we try to move that way to play in a Fantacycling as well.
Paste.
But you need to be, with group of friends to play in that kind of way. Sure. Or you can play just, for example, me and Jens, we build a league. We just create our team buying by list and no auction. So everyone can get the same player, for example, the same rider, for example.
Yeah,
just a way to play.
No, just because in that case, it's like Pogacar doesn't exist, because actually everyone is getting him. So,
as I said,
everyone else in your team is important.
The difference in that case, the difference it comes from, for example, O'Connor, which is not the big name, and no one is gonna get O'Connor for example, for a World Championship. Who got O'Connor probably won. because O'Connor was unpredictable at the second place. I don't know. I think it's right, no, Jens? It was unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, for sure he was good. And he will go, for sure he can be top 10. Maybe he can even be 5 or 6, but nobody would have picked him in second place. He did brilliant. With the app, the Fanta League, you get notifications on Sunday night about the latest updates and results after the races.
Okay. All the data and all the data from Procycling Stats. I think you know Procycling Stats. Yeah, all the data.
Procycling Stats is the big website behind all the races that you got live stats.
I look a lot of times. I look as well to get information about riders.
You look the van on the way on the road.
Yeah, there is a van on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, First Cycling is a similar web page.
First Cycling is
it's also pretty good. I mainly use one of them too.
Yeah, we have a collaboration with Procycling Stats. So basically, all the results and
all the
live data as well. Everything is combined with our app. So what is on that website is in our app as well.
Good.
Yeah. So when they calculate the race and you have all the position and all the GC, all the green jersey, whatever, is on the app as well. And the app it has an algorithm that translates the position with the Fanta points. So you get immediately the classification. So it's pretty fast, actually. Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Okay.
And otherwise to the football or the others, not all the sports, is objective, because if you win, you have that points. Not like in the soccer, the journalists get you 6 or 7, like a vote. It's impossible to understand why, because it's subjective, not objective.
Enrico can explain that, because Kickest, it works like that with an algorithm. It's not with a journalist vote. Because the main problem in Italy is that the few journalists had the power, let's say the power to give a vote of a player of a match. For example, I don't know, Ronaldo score 1 goal is 7, 8 out of 10. You got your point from that vote, from that journalist. Is not objective, it's subjective. The vote is different. So our algorithm is just pretty mathematics.
That's really the peculiarity of Italy, of the Italian fantasy football, because apart from that, everywhere else in Europe, USA, wherever, it's subjective based on data. So we have this special thing that there's so many. Otherwise, it's everywhere is just that. Even the Premier League football, which is one of the most played fantasy game in the world, they make around 14 million users per season. And even though it's quite simple, it's just objective. So based on goals, assists, clean sheets, and so on. But no, the grades or votes are only in Italy.
I think people playing in that kind of game, they like it too. They like to discuss that,
Yeah, for sure. In Germany, we used to say we have 80 million people living here. And in Germany, the thing is, we have 80 million national coaches in Germany, because everybody is a self-declared expert in soccer and a national coach in soccer. Not so much in cycling, but at least in soccer. Every German believes, I know exactly what you need to do. So that's a cliche, but I guess every now and then it is so true.
Jens, can you answer that question? And let me invite to our web show, because this is not our web show. This is something special we did because we create a crowdfunding, which is going very well. Actually, we are earning, getting close to 200,000, which is a fantastic goal, to be honest. So this is our crowdfunding. The app is already on. We worked. This is the 5th year, I guess, but we try to improve quite fast. So we had this idea of crowdfunding is going very well. So thanks to everyone, by the way. So we had a really good show on Thursday evening. Every Thursday evening, maybe this is the 4th year or something like that, we did that show. It's very popular on YouTube. So let me invite you on Thursday, whatever you want, this Thursday, next Thursday, whatever. So if you feel like to, we talk about cycling, Pogacar, Evenepoel, whatever you want. So it's going to be different. It's not, this is more serious. We are not that serious in that show, to be honest.
Okay.
So if you like, there is always Riccardo Magrini, which is the main commentator of Eurosport.
Oh, of course, I know him. Yeah.
Vladimir Belli as well. Yeah, is coming every Thursday.
Il Magro.
Il Magro, yeah.
In the last 3 years, we had a collaboration with Discovery Plus in Italy, and I already speak with Discovery because we want to expand our collaboration with Eurosport, Germany, Spain, French. We want to reach more users in Europe, so we need to expand our collaboration with Discovery Plus. So now we are only in Italy, but we are talking for the next year, for the next few years to expand our collaboration, our partnership.
For sure, it would help if you have a collaboration with Eurosport Germany, because they have quite a lot of viewers, especially at the Giro, the Vuelta, World Championships, in Tour de France, of course, a lot of viewers. So yeah, if you could somehow get in there, yeah, that would really, I think, boost the way people know of you, right? That's the first step. To have people to be aware, hey, there's this game out there and it's called this and this. You can find it there and there.
So this is the official invitation of Jens Vogt for the whenever you want. On Thursday, 9:30, we start these 2-3 hours live. If you can come just for half an hour, don't worry. We can get you for 3 hours. This is the question. This is just for you, Do you like your place at Eurosport? What's your favorite part of this job? Do you like to follow riders behind and not in the peloton?
Yes, I do like my job at Eurosport. And being on the motorbike, it is almost like a comeback, because you out there and on a motorbike, you can smell the air, you can feel the wind, you feel the surface, the mountains. You feel the passion from the spectators, but you have no pain in the legs because you're on a motorbike. So it's a really, really good job. But also, you have to be focused, because the chances are very small, but there are some serious consequences always driving with you on the motorbike. It could be all over after the next turn. So the chances are very little, but the chance is there. So you got to always look ahead to see what the driver is doing, what the riders in front, the team cars are doing, if they block the road, if they're going to stop. So you got to be proactive to help your driver. But it's a fantastic job. And so being on a motorbike, I think I like the most. It's long days. You go early to the start. You want to be there 2 hours before the start at least, so you can see the riders coming in, the team buses coming in, get interviews, and then you set up your satellite link. After the race, you run to the mixed zone, get more interviews. Then you drive to your hotel. It's long days, but it is fantastic. And I have to say, now that I see the riders in the race or right after the race from the motorbike, I have so much more respect for them, because they look so tired. And I asked myself, I asked my wife, I said, hey, honey, did I ever look so tired? And she goes, yes, you look so tired all the time. They're so skinny, and they sunburned, they got scratches from crashes, and another crash on the left side, one on the right side. And they come across the finish line bleeding. You look totally tired. I go, oh my God, this sport is so hard. How could I ever have done that for 33 years?
You did. Actually.
Yeah. So I have so much more respect for my colleagues now, that now I see from the other side how hard the sport is. So yes, I do like my job at Eurosport. On the motorbike is the best. And if I can, I would also like to stay a few times with the Gruppetto, because everybody sees Pogacar like and winning. It looks so easy, but back there in the Pyrenees, or in the Dolomites, the sprinters, they are so tired, or people, they are a little bit ill or sick, or they crashed the day before. They suffer like dogs back then in the peloton. I would like to show that a lot more to the people to make them realize. I mean, I once I saw back.
It's not so entertaining. It's better for the spectator.
I mean, versus reality. Instagram is Pogacar, reality is back of peloton.
I mean, when you see Marcel Kittel uphill, he does walking speed. He goes full gas, all that he can, and it's walking speed because he's 90 kilos of muscles, you know?
Yeah,
so he cannot go faster. They suffer like crazy. I would like to show that more often.
Ciccio Pungible said that you are not very good for the prediction of the day in Eurosport.
Oh, that is so true. Unfortunately, I have to say that is so true. Because
he said that you pick someone just like that, just like, okay, I get this one. You know, is it true?
No. We have to predict a game with Eurosport. And for the last 2 years, I was always last. Only this year, Tour de France, I think I was in the middle. I don't know. I must be unlucky or just not good at it. You know, because many times good luck is class. Many times bad luck is not bad luck anymore. It's class. Sorry, it's no class. So maybe
as we say in Fantacycling, if you arrive last, the last team 1 year, then the second year, and the third year, probably you are unlucky, but probably you don't understand how to play that game, you know?
Yeah.
It's your fault.
And I have to say, it's my fault, mea culpa. I was not good enough at that. Yes, I have to admit.
Ok, so thanks to everyone. Florian, l'invito anche per te se vuoi venire in live con noi.
Con piacere, in italiano.
Sì, in italiano, se c'è Jens si parla un po' in inglese.
Facciamo un po'.
Ok. Jens, as I said, every Thursday, 9:30, we send an invitation link, maybe in the few days, I don't know. If you feel like to come to say something about this season of cycling, your thoughts about Pogacar, Evenepoel, and whatever, just feel free to come. Okay.
We could bet on which kilometer Pogacar is going to attack this week.
From the beginning.
Then we can discuss it later on the next talk.
That is so true. Yeah, that is a good plan. So yeah, one of my few Italian words is, hey, mille grazie, and it was fantastico and spectacolare to talk to you guys. I really enjoyed the talk, and yes, definitely I will.
I guess you know some bad words as well, but you can't say that now. But you know.
No, unfortunately, no.
Yeah. Of course. So thanks to everyone.
Grazie a voi.
Grazie a tutti, ragazzi.
Ciao a tutti, ciao.
Grazie a tutti e ciao.
Ciao.